Hi there, my friend. Piano Man Steve Lungrin here, founder of the Piano Man Approach online piano courses, where we learn how to learn all the greatest songs of all time very quickly, and we have a lot more fun doing it. And so today we're looking at a song masterclass on Open Arms by Journey, one of their most famous and enduring and most beloved hit songs. Massive, massive song for them, and I think 1982. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to walk through how to play it using my magic 5-step song learning formula. So let's get into it. But really quickly, before we do, if you enjoy free content like this, I would sure appreciate it if you'd give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and share it and talk about it with other people that you think might benefit from it. But let's not waste any more time on that sort of thing and get right into the sort of meat and potatoes of what we're doing here. So, my 5-step song learning formula is an acronym. I call it the GLIDE formula because it helps you glide right through learning any song you want. And it starts with G, get the chords. So there's a lot of different places that you can go to get chords and lyrics these days. I happen to use ultimateguitartabs.com quite a bit, but there's other apps and websites, so I'm not going to dictate where you should go for that, because some of them will be in business next year, some of them won't, and I don't know when you're going to see this. But you go somewhere that that you can get your hands on the chords and the lyrics. That could be sheet music. We're just not going to pay attention to the notes written on the staff. We're going to look at the guitar chords above the top row, or above the staff anyway. So you get the chords. The second little piece of this is LGL. Listen to the song. This is pretty easy. You just have to go to YouTube or Spotify or any of the streaming services, and you find the song and you have a listen, because you need to have some semblance. It needs to be fresh in your mind how it sounds for the third step to really work. And the third step is identify the feel. GLI, identify the feel. So this is where the method really starts to take off. And the way that I came about this was I noticed that there were a lot of kind of mediocre musicians that were able to still pick up an acoustic guitar and play songs. And I wondered why that was, and why it seemed like you had to become like a virtuoso to play anything on piano. And what it came down to is that those acoustic guitar players had 10 or 12 chords that they learned that they could form on the neck of the guitar. And then they had a strumming pattern of some sort, maybe 2 or 3 different strumming patterns that they could use. And that would approximate what was going on with the ensemble and the recording of the band, that now they're playing a song. And I wondered if there was a way to do that on piano. I call them rhythm patterns, and a whole lot of other people are calling them rhythm patterns now, but I've been doing it for the last 15 years on YouTube, so I'm proud to have been sort of a pioneer on that particular term around these here parts. So we identify the feel, which essentially is picking a rhythm pattern for the song that's going to be the basis. And so I have 4 essential feels that cover roughly, I'd say, about 90% of all popular music in the modern era. So let's see which one works. Well, this one's kind of easy right out of the gate, because of the 4 feels, 3 of those 4 feels are designed for something that either has 2 beats or 4 beats and a measure. Only one is designed for something with 3 beats and a measure. And if you listen to this song, you can kind of feel that it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it might be 6/8, it might be 3/4. A lot of other people are going to have insights about that, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that we're going to have to jump to our 3 beats per measure rhythm pattern, which is the waltz feel. So the waltz feel in its most sort of basic form looks like this. You play in the chord that you're in. We're in the key of D. So you play octaves in your left hand on the root of the chord or whatever the bass note is assigned. And then on beats 2 and 3, you simply come down on the chord. Now, there's a lot of modifications and things that we're going to do to this to make it sound a little more like the recording by the time we get to the end of the formula, but this is our point of entry, okay? So after you identify the feel, the next step is D, drill it down. That's where you work yourself through the chords with just that essential feel, and you give yourself some, you just kind of get the chords underneath your fingers, because once we start enhancing it and creating modifications and simple improv, you don't want your brain tied up in like, now what's the next chord and how do I get from a D chord to an A chord or whatever. You want that stuff kind of under your fingers so you can focus on more minute details. So in this case, running through it would look kind of like this. D. And by the way, if you're not familiar, a D chord is D, F sharp, and A. Why? Because if you run through a D scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. There we go. So it's D, A, B minor, A, G. Okay, so lying beside you here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat with mine. So this may not be where we want to end up, but can you hear how that's holding the song together? That rhythm pattern is essentially giving you a structure that the song can sit on and rest on for the whole way. Softly you whisper, you're so sincere. How could our love be so blind? Okay, now we move to the next section. It goes to an E minor. We sail on together, then to a B minor, but drifted apart. And here, now back to a D. You, A, are by my side to a G. A with a G bass. A, back to G. Now we're on to a D. Come to you. And then it goes to an F sharp minor with open arms. Then to a G chord, nothing to hide. Believe, now it goes to a C. Believe what I say, D. So here I am, F sharp minor, with open arms. Then to a G, hoping you'll see what are, to a C chord, love means to me. Open arms, back to a D chord. So at tempo, you get a nice sounding. F sharp minor, G, C. So now, again, I'm just playing that so that you can hear that that is a pretty good rhythm pattern for it all the way through if you are a beginner. That might be all the farther you can actually go, but it's a nice place to start. And all you need to do is learn your basic chords, your basic major and minor chords, and then you can plug that rhythm pattern into any of those chords. So it's a nice place to start, and you can actually play that a lot faster, right? You can get to that point a lot faster than a sophisticated written arrangement, which you have to be at a certain level of sophistication for sight reading in order to actually be able to do that. So this way you're not beholden to any one arrangement. What I like about this method is that there's a point of entry for a beginner, but then there's all different kinds of sophistication you can add to it for somebody who's been doing it longer. And that's what we're going to get into in step 5, which is E, enhance with signatures and simple improv. So let's assume that we've drilled it down and gotten it under our hands. Let's start making this into a little more like what we hear on the record. So there's a number of different things that you can do with 3/4 time. You don't have to just do the chuck, 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 chuck with it. But I want you to think in terms of that, and this is a challenge sometimes with a song like this. The piano is very prevalent in this song, and so it's tempting to just try to, copy the piano 100%. That's never what we're trying to do if you're playing by yourself on piano. You're trying to be the band, not the piano player, right? We're copying the essence of what's going on, which will sometimes include playing something exactly like the way the piano player did it, but we also want to open ourselves up beyond that. So let's not take a look at the intro just yet. Let's just think about things we can do to this rhythm pattern to make it a little more like the recording in a way. Okay, now what am I doing there? Instead of playing chuck, 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 I am deploying something that I call toggling. See what I'm doing here? I'm playing the top part of the chord with the top part of my hand, with these fingers. And then I'm toggling to the thumb, and then back to the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm just playing on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the left hand, and I get this sound. Lying beside you, here in the dark, feeling your heart next to mine. It's just maybe a little bit smoother than playing left, right, right, left, right, right. And it really works nice when you get into the part where more of the band is playing. When you say, we sailed on together, drifted apart. Now here you are by my side. Now I come to you with open arms. Okay? So that's one enhancement that you could make. You don't have to, but it's one enhancement that you could make. Another thing would be to deploy some arpeggios in it. So notice what I'm doing. Arpeggios are when you take the notes of the chord and you play them as individual notes rather than as a block. And so what I'm doing here is I happen to have this D chord in this inversion. So if this is root inversion with the root on the bottom, here's first inversion with the 3 on the bottom. I'm playing second inversion with the 5 on the bottom, but it doesn't matter. It's still the same 3 notes. I'm just arpeggiating up 1 and 2 and then arpeggiating right back down. And 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Lying beside you here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat with mine. Okay? It's just another choice that could be made. And you can create hybrids out of these choices. The idea isn't to show you and say, play it this way. The idea is to give you tools and a little bag of tricks. You can reach in and make choices, okay, in the moment. So it could be a little bit of both. See what I'm doing there? I'm playing a toggle and then starting to arpeggiate my way back up. Lying beside just another choice that you could make. Now, you can also do a broken attack across both hands. So like this, with the right hand, you could say, instead of just playing octaves, I'm going to play the octaves, but I'm going to play the 1, 5, 1, like so. And you don't have to do it on every single chord, but notice what I'm doing here. We're on a D, right? If you play the scale of a D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 is an A, so we can play D, A, D. And that's just something you can do to add a little bit of character. Lying beside you here in the dark. Okay? Now, another thing you could be doing. You could play a chord and then arpeggiate up, and you could do it on eighth notes or 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Lying beside you here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat with mine. Softly you whisper. Okay? Could be 1, da, da, da. See how I'm toggling? I get up that arpeggio, then toggle back to my thumb. Softly you whisper. When we get to this part, What I probably would do more often than not would actually be to just play 1, 2, 3, 1, because it sounds kind of like what's going on with the band. We sail on together, and I put that accent note in the left hand down on beat 1, and I just hold it for 3 beats. Sail on together, drifted apart. Now here you are by my side. Now I'm going to probably play chord, arpeggio, toggle back down. So now I come to you with open arms, nothing to hide. So here's what I like about coming down on a chord and then doing some arpeggios or toggling after that. It really accents that first beat. You don't have to do it this way. You're the maestro. You can choose any any trick from your bag that you want. But I like having that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? So this is really a game about rhythm more than anything else. It's about finding interesting rhythmic things to do that help complement this. And I'm just giving you a few tools: toggles, arpeggios, broken attacks, and underneath it all, making choices in the moment, you end up with something kind of interesting. Lying beside you, here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat mine. So notice I'm just playing a long held, kind of a sustained note, and I do a broken attack, and then a toggle up. So each section of the song, I might change up the rhythmic aspect of what I'm doing just a little bit, even though we're still all basing it off of that waltz feel in some way, that 3/4 time feel. We're giving slightly different modifications, slightly different enhancements to each section of the song so that they have a distinctive flavor all of their own, right? So more legato, more flowing on the lying beside you, here in the dark, feeling your heartbeat something a little more driving. We sail on together, drifted apart. Now here you are by my side. So now I come to you with open arms. Now, this is probably a little more like what we're doing during the verse, except I'm trying to make sure that I'm really, really emphasizing count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Anything else I do, I come down on a chord. Come to you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that's how we make each section a little bit distinctive, right? Now, the next thing that we can do is we can enhance the chords a little bit. A lot of times you'll get very basic chords. You'll just get major and minor chords with the lyrics. But if we listen, these chords have potential things that you can add to them. Any one of the majors, for example, you could add an added 9 to. An added 9 is where you play just the 9. What is a 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the same thing as the 2. The problem is if it says D2, what it's telling you to do is just to play D and E. And that's it. That's a D2. But if it says play D added 9, it means play a D chord and then add the 9 to it. Notice how that thickens it up. And it's got kind of a nice, it softens it. It thickens it and makes it bigger, but it also softens it a little bit. Takes a little edge and brightness off of it. And now that can be factored into your arpeggiating and it can be factored into your toggling. Same thing with this A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that B, you can add that in. That's something that you can do. The nothing to hide, believe what I say. On that chord, it's a C, but it's clearly like a C7. What does that mean? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you flat the 7. Unless it says C major 7, it always means that you're playing a flatted 7, a dominant 7. And if you put the 9 in with the 7, then you get a full C9 chord. Not a C added 9, but a C9, where it expects that you're going to play the 7 and the 9 along with that triad. So can you hear that? Isn't that a nice, thick, juicy chord? Open arms, nothing to hide. Believe what I say. There's the dominant 7, there's the 9, and then you have the 3 and the 5, and the root of the chords down here in the left hand. So here I am with open arms. So see here, I'm on a G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that A, it's my added 9. It's to me, open arms. So you have all these different choices that you can make at different sections of the song and to do different things in the song, you know, to make the sections a little bit distinct from one another, to make it softer, to make it bigger, to make it more grandiose, to make it, to drive it more versus have it be more smooth. And you get to make those choices. That's what I love about this. There's one other element that we want to look at, and that is signatures. And signatures, you know, sometimes if you know how to read music, someone will have it printed out. Someone might have made a YouTube video where they tried to transcribe the signature out. That's just a famous lick from the song that you're trying to copy. But signatures leave clues, okay? They're all still being played in the context of a chord. So if you listen to the beginning of that song and you hear ba-da-da-da-da, chords that you can hear are D, A with a C sharp bass. Okay, so it's the 3 of that chord is in the bass. Da, da, da. And it goes to a G with a B bass. Same thing. We went from an A with the 3 as the bass note to a G with the 3 as the bass note. Then it goes to B minor. Da 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 to an A chord. Da da. So D, A over C sharp, G over B, B minor, A, G. So we know that that's what's going on sort of harmonically. So all we have to do now is kind of pick the melody out for that signature. A, E, F sharp, D, A, E, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, D, C sharp, A, F sharp, B. So once you have that in place, now you could do like a broken attack underneath. Let me play that really slow. Up to speed. Okay? And if you want to, you can harmonize it a little bit. You can just play. I wouldn't try to harmonize every note in there, but you could play like a long sustained note that is a good harmony note for several notes that you're playing. So let me give you an example. That D harmonizes well with this F sharp. The F sharp helps reinforce that this is a D chord, so you could do this. Now it goes to an A chord. That E is part of the A chord, so you could play A and E together and hold that E. And then it goes to a G over B, so you just play a G chord. Then it goes to B minor. And you could certainly harmonize it on either D and B like that or D and F sharp like that. It's on a G chord. That D is part of a G chord, so I'm harmonizing it with that B. Some people would ask me, well, is that exactly what Journey did? And I'll always say, I don't know. I don't really care. It's close enough because my goal is to learn a method that will allow me to play hundreds, maybe even thousands of songs, rather than getting hung up on doing an exact, perfect, transcribed facsimile of one song, which is a lot of work and it takes a long time. If Journey hired me to come be their piano player and tour with them, I would learn it the way they wanted me to play it, note for note, and then but guess what? I'd get to do it that way 100 times that year because that's how many shows they're going to play. but I don't know how often I'm going to play this song. So I just want to do it well enough that everyone knows what it is, and I can use, the chords of the song to give me clues, and I'm going to come up with something close enough, and then I'm going to be comping underneath it while I sing the melody. Lying beside you, here in the dark, feeling your heart next to mine. Softly you whisper, you're so sincere. How can our love be so blind? We sail on together and drifted apart. Now here you are by my side. Now I come to you with open arms, nothing to hide. Believe what I say, and here I am with open arms, hoping you'll see what your love means to me. Open arms. And then we're right back off to the races doing the same thing. So what I love about this method, as I mentioned before, is that maybe where you are in your journey, as far as you can go at this moment in time, is to go, lying beside you, here in the dark, feeling your heart next to mine. But you know what? It sounds great, right? It's a really good place to start. But what's great about this method is that every time you learn a new trick, whether it is, it clicked with me what an added 9 is. Well, guess what? You can add that 9 to any chord in any song, right? Or, this toggle thing makes sense to me. Great. You can do that in any song, on any chord. Same thing is true with arpeggios. Same thing is true with broken attacks. All of these tools that you pick up along the way, they're transferable to all different kinds of songs. And it's just something that you have that you can reach for at any given moment. So it is a rising tide that raises all boats. It lifts all the boats up. Every time you get a little better at playing this song, you are making yourself better at playing every song. And if you've got a lot of momentum with playing piano, so it's like you've already got really good hand independence, you've got really good technique, you've studied, you're a good reader, you just never learned how to use chord symbols and what to do with them, and so now you jump off, you can very quickly be doing very impressive stuff with it now that you know some things to do with it. And so the same method allows the more advanced player to come in and go, it allows the intermediate player it allows the beginner player to just but there's a place to get into the song for every single level of player. That's what I love about it. And you're not beholden to an arranger. The problem with sheet music is, especially for playing popular music, is the arrangement is written for a certain skill level. So it might be like so easy that it bores you and it doesn't sound that interesting. It might be so hard that it's way beyond your reach. It might be exactly the right level for where your skills are at, but it takes a really, really long, annoying time for you to work it out because it's very tedious to read notes on a staff. So I just happen to love this because it doesn't hem you into playing it exactly the same way every time, but there's always enough connective tissue between how you played it this time and how you're going to play it next time that the essence is there. Right? The essence is there. And so no one's going to really notice that you're changing it up, but it's a fresh experience for you every time. And you have all the room in the world to grow with the songs. With your skill set, each song becomes more sophisticated and interesting. And every time you master a new technique in one song, it's available to you to use in any other song. So hopefully, what I've been able to accomplish here is give you some usable ideas that you can take with you for this song and for other songs to your piano playing immediately. But even more important, I hope that I've caused you to start seeing how to approach the piano differently. All right? We're looking for the eureka moment. The Piano Man approach isn't for everybody. Some people are uncomfortable with the number of decisions that you get to make. They want to be told exactly what to do, and that's fine. But that's not what we're here for. We are here because we love great songs. We love great songs. We want to be able to play all of them. And we need a method that allows us to learn any song, and we don't want to spend our lifetime, just getting through the door on it. We want to be able to play something credible very fast. And that's what the Piano Man approach method's all about. If it's for you, then, or if you think it's for you, please check out in my links. I've got my free song learning blueprint mini course. That's yours with no commitment whatsoever. And you can learn more about my paid courses as well. But hopefully you got a lot of good, valuable nuggets of information just from this video alone. And I try to put up as many of these as I have time for. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get out of here for now. Remember my mantra, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And I will see you guys on the next video. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.